The second, welcome to the second day of the virtual sessions that we'll be having. We have one more to go, which is tomorrow. And today we have Hapreet. Hapreet is a DevRel person, and I will just leave him to introduce himself because I believe that he will do a better job at that. He knows more about himself than I do. And without further ado, I really want to get into this so that we can have more time because Hapreet session is a lot more of a building thing rather than a just overlook and overview. So with that being said, I'm just going to hand the reins over to Hapreet. Hapreet, welcome, and you have the floor.
Yeah, thanks, Koha, for inviting me. And my name is Hapreet Singh, and I'm DevRel at Rebel Labs. And I'm also, Arbitrum ambassador. So, let's get started. The agenda for this session would be you'll first go through the entire ecosystem of Arbitrum Stylus and what is Arbitrum and what is Arbitrum Stylus. Then we'll go and deploy one Arbitrum Stylus contract. Therein, then we'll deploy a full-fledged front end and then connect these two contracts. And by the end of this session, you will have your first Telegram mini app with stylus contract ready. So let's get started. I'm really excited. Yeah, just cover the agenda. Yeah. So, let's start with the Ethereum. We all know Ethereum is a decentralized open source blockchain, which is, apart from having a peer-to-peer currency and all the systems, we also have the power of self-executing smart contracts, which wherein you can take this unbreakable vows from the Harry Potter, and no one would be able to break it. Now, why Ethereum is slow? Because first of all, why do we actually need another layer 2? So first of all, because of very high gas fee. It is because whenever we all want to like Ethereum is stable, right? If there are a lot of transactions that come through at a time, it is unable to add all those transactions inside the blockchain because it has a very low TPS of 20 to 30. And whenever there are more than these transactions, the price of the transactions goes through, and it is through the bidding process, which I'm very sure you have been introduced to through these entire 2 days. But yeah, so that's the reason, due to very high gas fee, low transaction per seconds, and being very, very slow. Due to both these reasons, we need scaling layer twos and other platforms that actually help us to scale the Ethereum. Arbitrum ecosystem, entire Arbitrum ecosystem is based on, just, like it's a layer two scaling solution. It helps to enhance the scalability and reduce the transaction cost, thereby, and also, taking in mind and increasing the transaction speed. So, that like Arbitrum come into picture, the Arbitrum has this Arbitrum 1 rollup, which you would have already heard of, the Arbitrum chain, which has the highest TP locked in DeFi. Next, we have any trust chain that is more of, it is more optimized for social platforms and gaming. So it is because it has some trust enabled in it. So, you're trusting a less number of validators, thereby lowering, there's a blockchain dilemma. So here we kill the, we sacrifice our, we sacrifice us for more scalability. We sacrifice our decentralization for more security. And then here, this entire lecture is all about, right? Which enables us to write EVM compatible smart contracts, but in any version language. So now, like let's understand, and after that, we'll go to stylus, but let's understand how stylus actually works. So yeah, stylus is a great. And so first of all, it is multi-VM. I'm explaining the features of Arbitrum stylus, and then we can go behind and see how it works in a very general overview. I'm keeping it less technical and more on build specific, and we'll try to cover that entire flow through the build. So I'm just cutting out the theory a lot. So first of all, okay, yeah, if anyone has any doubt till now, just raise your hands at any time, and I'll pause and let you know whatever your doubt is, and I'll be happy to resolve it. So Arbitrum stylus. So Arbitrum stylus is a multivium which helps us to write smart contracts which are EVM compatible in other languages. Right now, Rust, C, C++ are the languages that are supposed, that are actually supported by the, like the ecosystem. You can actually develop any, SDKs for any languages if you follow the steps, right? Everything is in there in the documentation. Next, it also enhances the performance and reduces cost compared to Solidity. It is because, if we all know, Rust is highly, it's very it's better than Solidity in terms of cost. Rust is fast because it is low-level language, and which helps us to run and execute other commands that were earlier not possible. Yeah, key features, right? Smart contracts, with support for Rust, full interoperability with Solidity's contracts. Memory is 100 to 500 times cheaper, which is because the same cost the addition operator cost 100 like X amount of gas, and the addition operator in Rust costs less than 100, 1/100th of the operation that is used by a Solidity addition operator. And that's why we are able to do a lot of things faster with significantly low gas fee. So the main reason, I would say, the theory of why Arbitrum stylus came actually into picture was, first, we all know that if we want a lot of users, we actually need developers, right? That's what the thing is. Right now, there are only 20K Solidity devs that are currently the ecosystem who are actually active. But on the other hand, we have over 12 million people who are developers who are actively coding in C, C++, and over 3 million in Rust. By this standard, we actually, you can see the pie chart over here, that the amount of Solidity developers are really, really low. So which in turn, like you can see it's 0.3% of the entire developer ecosystem that Rust has now enabled to build on Ethereum. And okay, the best part of Arbitrum stylus is it is actually incorporated in the Arbitrum 1 rollup, which has the maximum TVL as we discussed earlier, right? Why is it possible? It is because Arbitrum Nitro, uh, which is the layer 2 rollup tech behind Arbitrum node, or you can say it is the node of Arbitrum 1 or Arbitrum. And it was made in such a way that the proofs were actually if there were fraud proofs, they were actually proven with the help of WASM. So now, once we get these functionality, they thought of actually integrating this was a compatibility that was already present in Arbitrum Nitro to actually convert it and build and verify smart contracts through it. So that was the entire, I guess, overview about Arbitrum stylus. Yep, stylus in action. Right now, there's Open Zeppelin library, which is used to create smart contract uh, in Rust. And next, we have some use cases that are possible. First is, we can have precompiles for signature schemas like SCP-256R1. And these are highly, I would say this is the reason why Arbitrum stylus should be used for. Next, we have generative art libraries that consume a lot of RAM. Since we are writing in Rust, we can actually bypass this earlier limitation of Solidity or EVM with the help of EVM plus. Next, we can bring those on chain games that were already written in C, C++. Next, compute heavy AI models, which could be actually be a possible use case. Next, I've already spec'd out some of the resources. This stylus was an example, and I will link this post that I created, and will share with you guys. So this stylus by example is one of the quoted resources as of now. Next, you can have this Notion with ETH Global whenever Arbitrum is host ETH Global Hackathon. Next, there's HackQuest course on entire built on Arbitrum, where they cover stylus as well. Yep. Yep. Thank you for your time, and let's get into build. So by the way, if you want, you can cover this as well in a very little. I guess it will take me 15 minutes, 5 minutes more. So, the main key points are onboarding. Yeah. The main key points are onboarding millions of devs. It is 10x faster and it opens a lot of use cases. Next, scaling Ethereum. That's what, scaling to billion users requires onboarding to next million developers. And that's why Steven Goldfeather, who is co-founder at Arbitrum of Sin Labs. So thousands of Solidity devs and millions of others. Right now we have this house divided into EVM and Wasm. So Near and Solana actually uses Rust to write this smart contracts, and they actually compile into Wasm. On the other hand, EVM, which has one of the largest developer base, they use EVM. Like that's what EVM compatible chains are all about, right? And they host a very large amount of developer base. So once we combine EVM plus Wasm, we get stylus. So the best function would be this KISS 256. This is like if we try to use it in Solidity, it takes around I guess 80x more computation than what its Rust counterpart takes. Next, hello stylus, not a new L2. That is the main, the biggest, point of it. It is not a new L2. It is, everything is already there in Arbitrum Unchained, which has the largest deviant locked. That's the entire thing, but I guess we are running less on time, so let's move on to the build. Okay, let's cover the first part, which is deploying on. Okay, so I'll urge everyone to go to Remix and search for this plugin, which you can find over here, Code by Weldon Studio. Let's go to Remix. We search for.
Yeah, sorry, Hapreet. We can only see your hello stylus. Is that where you are right now?
No. Okay.
Yeah, I think the screen you
Sure.
shared is different. All right. Yeah, we can see Remix now.
Nice. So Any questions till now? I would love to answer before moving on words to the build part. Okay, I guess we are good to go. But yeah, if there are any, you can drop it in the chat, and just let me know. So let's open Remix, and on on this plugin you can see over here, right? This plugin, just click over here and search for Code by Wetland Studio and click on Activate. So this plugin is used to actually enable developing on Arbitrum stylus, because it uses, for it to run on your local machine, just like we use Foundry or Hard Hat, we actually need to run an Arbitrum stylus node, Arbitrum node, right? So which usually takes a lot of space in your laptop, or on your local machine. That is doing that. But recently I got into a problem and I was unable to, my code was not able to compile over there. So that's the reason. And if you're building in a hackathon, this is a very nice place to at least quickly try out what you're building. Yeah. So once you are done, you have to go here and click on Arbitrum stylus. Let's connect to MetaMask. Okay, I guess sharing the I think yeah, I'm just there was no MetaMask in that my of my very Chrome profile. So I'm coming over here. Just just have to connect your MetaMask by clicking over here. And it's for me it's already connected, but just let me click on plugin and just search for Code by Wetland Studio, click on activate. It will be activated. Then click on our run stylus and connect to MetaMask. Then click on this new project. I'll just write Web3 Afrika. And there are 4 or 5 templates that you can use. So like right now, we will just use create. It asks us for a lot of some permissions, which we can get. You can see this starter kit being loaded. Next, you can go and you can check over here that in your Arbitrum hello world, in source and library, that the stylus contract is loaded. So let's go through the contract. Yep. So this is a counter contract. which actually, sets a number and increments a number. So it is, fairly the common way of whatever, whenever you try to, learn it's more of a hello world program. You have a counter and, you just increase or,
Yeah.
counteractive solidity
Sorry to
code.
cut you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hapreet.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, this is the
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. We have a question.
yeah.
We have a question on the chat, and also, can you please zoom in your browser a bit? Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks for. I hope this is visible now.
Yeah, it's visible. And then we have a question. Somebody's having issues installing, I think,
Yeah,
the plugin.
connecting after plugging. Okay. Can you share any specific issue that you are having? Because, if you just click on connect to MetaMask, it should be done. Maybe reload remix once. That may help you. Just click Arbitrum Stylus. And once you click on connect to MetaMask, it is done. So if that is a problem that you're facing, maybe just click on this environment and click injected provider MetaMask. You have to go to the deploy one. Again, that's the very way how you actually deploy your Solidity contracts. So just go to this deploy one and on the environment part, just click on injected provider and then sign in this, just connect to this, just connect to the remix then. Yeah, then connect to the remix. And if you go back now, it should be connected. Just let me know, if this trick doesn't work for you. So let's start with this. Just write the name of the project and the template. You're using the Hello World template. And you can click on create. So you can see, Arbitrum/Web3 Afrika. If you go to File Explorer, Arbitrum and Web3 Afrika, source. Okay, the project is created now. Now we have to actually click on this select a template. This just created a project. Now we'll create this template. Hello World is created. You can see over here, the Hello World is created successfully. Now, if you go back, you can find Hello World source and library over here. Yep. So this is a Hello World contract. It contains a counter contract. So if I go through the Solidity code, the contract means the class. If you're familiar with any object-oriented programming language like Java or JavaScript, contract is a better way of or you can call it a class with the class name which we call contract name, which indicates counter. Then there is uint 256, which is an unsigned integer and which is called public, which is public, indicating that it is accessible to anyone in the entire program. Next, we name it number. Then there's another function which sets the number, takes an input, and actually, change this number to something else. Next, we have an increment number that actually increments the number we have by one. So storage variables is actually, for uint, it would be integer, it is 0, string, it is empty. So, you don't actually have to define it is equals to 0 over here. if you're coming to from other backgrounds. So, let's start with its counterpart, counteractive stylus code. Here, you can click. It's just, it is just telling us that if there's no main function over here, you can have this, export the ABI. So ABI, will come after the end when we are trying to deploy this contract and connect it with our front end. So, the ABI will come into picture then. It is more of, a structure, or you can say the application binary interface through which we know what functions are present inside your smart contract. So, external create alloc. So we're importing this alloc crate. Alloc, if you remember, it's an allocator for version. Next, we are statically importing mini alloc. It's again for us to write the smart contracts. Now, this stylus SDK is where we are importing alloy primitives, and which is the U256. So if there is a library called ethers.js. Similar to that, we have ethers RS, which is the ethers library to interact with smart contracts in Rust, which was formerly called as ether RS, but now it is called Alloy. That's what, we are importing the U256 primitive from Alloy. And it's again in stylus SDK. Next, we are here determining the solidity storage. And that's what, where we are actually initializing all of our global variables. So global storage variables, which will be present inside a solidity contract. So since we don't have any like that object-oriented programming approach in Rust, instead we have structs. So that's how we'll write our smart contracts. So over here with hash of entry point, it indicates this is the entry point of the contract, and here we are defining all the storage, or you can say variables that we will be using inside our contract. It's public structure counter. Again, just like we do contract class name, contract name, or class name. Here, if you are familiar with C, you would be, you can easily get this concept that, we're creating a structure for counter, which has this property of number. It's again unassigned integer with 256 bytes of memory, which can be used to, which we'll eventually use to, change and do a lot of things. Next, after deploying, telling what we have in storage, we go back and let's have this hash of external, which indicates these are all the external functions that we have in our contract. The implication counter, it's again implication. So it extends all those functions from here. We have public function number, which public function set number, and public function increment. So the public function number takes the self, which is its own instance, and it will return unassigned integer of 256 bytes. So this U256 is what we imported from Alloy primitives. So you have to actually take care of these two things. Once, while we are telling all the solidity storage, we are using the solidity counterparts like U256. And but whenever you're using outside this, accessing the data members, over here, we have imported from U256 from Alloy primitives. Accordingly, if we have address, we can also, import address from here as well. So, public function, which takes itself and, returns it. It, takes a self dot number and dot get. So, it eventually this function number, it's what, it's a getter function. Next function we have in the contract is the set number. So public, this is an access specifier which tells that this function is accessible anywhere. That fn denotes the function contract, function keyword for Rust, and this set number is again the function name. And then right now it is taking a mutable self. So eventually this time we are taking a mutable self. If you know the concepts of Rust, I hope everyone like attending would be familiar with Rust, because that's how I arbitrum stylus is all about. So the mutability concept and all the concepts would be familiar with you. Next, we have this new number, which we are taking as an argument apart from the self, which is an unassigned 256. Unassigned integer of 256 bytes. Again, we are using this. Next, it is setting the number, or in a sense just setting this number a variable to this new number that we actually sent in this parameter. The third function over here is the increment function, which is an immutable, which also takes an mutable self param. And here we are creating, or we have created till now. Just create a variable using let number is equals to self.number.get. And next we are again taking this instance of a structure counter to self.set number. We are calling this function with the number, and adding one to it. So U256 from that's a function you get from U256 that you can actually it adds one, because if we have to write U256 one, you have to add 264 0 in front of it, which this from function does that for us. So that's an increment. So we have increment, set number, and function number variable number function as of now. Let me know if you have any doubts. I'm happy to answer. Yeah. Okay. If you want, this contract is a boilerplate contract. I haven't changed anything. So if you go over here, Code by Weldon Studio, and I have shown you the process of how to create this entire thing. Like get the contract. You can actually get the code as it is. Any other questions?
Sorry, I have a question, please.
Maybe you can unmute. Yeah, please.
Okay, so this code, is it written in Rust or C or C++?
Okay, this code is written in Rust. So as I explained, right, this is a Rust SDK, which we are actually exploring. C++, like we have Arbitrum has the functionality and SDKs, but it is not up to the production level. The Rust SDK is what is being currently, I would say, being produced in like to the production level, so that I think I haven't shown you some of the projects on the stylus, but yeah, this is the Rust is what you should actually write code in. This is the Rust code that I'm showing, explaining you.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
I want to ask that, can we get the same results writing the code in Solidity?
Yeah, that's the same, if you can see this counter, contract counter, that's the same contract that we have, right? We are getting over here. We are actually, converting that. If you're coming from Solidity background, I think that is the first things that you should do.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And the power of stylus comes into picture when you want to use some, functions that are actually that are not actually meant for it. So first, let us deploy this, and then we can talk about other functions. If you have any question in this counter contract, if anything is not, maybe you didn't understand what it is, right? Just let me know, because we have ample of time, and I will love to explain it. Maybe very simple doubt as what is REST. I'll be happy to answer it. I guess then let's move on. Right. Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm back. Yes. So now you don't actually have to leave this entire, plugin. Everything would be done from starting to end over here. Once you have connected, I guess that's a bug, or that's what I think it is. But more or less, once you are done with the contract, which you have, right, you can click on this compile, and it will start compiling over here. You can check everything. The word is created. Now it will start compiling. So this compiling usually takes a lot of time in comparison to what we have in Solidity. Yep. So once it is compiled, since we added this, line, if it's not a main function, you should export the ABI. That is what, it actually did for us. It also generated an ABI. ABI is it is called, it is used for, just connecting, as I told you earlier. It is application binary interface, which is used, like right now, as of now, there are three functions that we wrote, and there's one variable, one storage variable, which is number. So that is just exactly, what it tells. It tells you, what is the mutability of this, what type of function it is, and what is its type. It is typed, right? First of all, you can check, new number, and like that's what it actually does. It just tells us what functions we have, what are the parameters, what is its parameters, its access specifier, and all of that. So that once we go to front end, we can actually fetch it easily. You can actually tell to EVM that we have this function. Just let us know what's the entire what is the number at this present. So after it, after compilation, just have to click on deploy. Yeah, you can see it is taking $2.75. So currently, there's, if I'm not wrong, there was a bug that was discovered in Stylus that actually increases the gas price. Like you can see, it is very high in comparison to its Solidity counterpart. So it would be actually solved in it. Like, it's very easy. It's in a day, or I guess the proposal is already been passed, and sorry, it's created. Once it is passed, you can get a lower amount of gas fee. But this, if you are doing the same thing as what a Solidity contract do, you may actually get a little higher fees in if you in comparison. But the things that are possible in Rust, if you are actually leveraging Rust's library, a very rich there's a very rich library support. So if you are leveraging those libraries, it would be far more cheaper and faster. But right now we haven't done anything, right? We are doing just simple EVM thing. So Currently, if you click on it, this call, as I said, everything is initialized as 0 if it's a number. So that is what it is. And right now I can click on increment and I would be asked to sign this transaction. And once it is done, I'll get it. Yeah, it is done. So our number should be now 1. So let us check again. Yeah, it is 1. Now we have this set number over here, if I write 7,384 and send, we can actually, once it is completed, our number would be 7,384. Just let me call. Yeah, you can check. So that was a very simple counter contract that we actually created. My reason would be, let's first deploy it and then we can come back. Let's first deploy a full stack dApp with it. And once we are done with it, we can come back again and explore some more beautiful use cases like ASAC 256 and, the hashing algorithms and some other data parameters that were not actually used by, that are not actually accessible in Solidity. So right now, I can click on this and see. Okay, it is using the Stylus V2 Explorer, but right now it is merged in Arbitrum Sepolia. So that's what I'll do. I'll just go to sepolia.rbscan. Okay. Just search this. Yep, that's what we did, right? We incremented it and set those numbers. Okay, now we have the contact address. And if you go to File Explorer, these are the output files that we got. There is an ABI file, which we also got from here while we compile the contract. So, this compilation and this. So let's quickly go to, the starter kit and deploy our first Telegram mini. So I'm also sharing it in the chat. So if people are actually following, they can build it. So this is the repo. Now, in less than, 10 minutes, we would be ready. Just go to this repo, click on choose this template and create a new repository. You can choose the owner if you have part of multiple organizations. Then in the repository name, I'll write Web3 Afrika workshop and then click on create repository. Once it is done, you click on this copy URL to clipboard and next open any of can you see the screen of this terminal?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, yes, you can see it.
Yeah, I'll just make a directory. Okay, it's already okay. I'll just clone it, clone my own repository that I created through the template. I'll just change the directory and come into next I'll install the dependencies But first, let's open it. I'm sorry. Let's open it inside VS Code. So let me share my VS Code terminal. Yeah. I hope you are able to see my the VS Code.
Yep.
Nice. So this is the starter kit or the template that you can use to deploy your first Telegram mini app, or I could say any Telegram mini app on ETH. So let's see what it is made up of. First of all, it has Next.js. All the commands to use the repository is inside the README, and I also created some blogs which I'll actually update inside the repo. And after the session, we can actually, I'll share everything with you. So you can clone it, and yeah, let's check, what are the tech stack. It is a Next.js template. I have both JavaScript and TypeScript templates. It is already inbuilt with Tailwind CSS, Rainbow Kit, WagMe, which are the libraries you will use to interact with smart contracts. And yeah, and the UI library here I'm using is Tailwind CSS along with ChatCN, which I'm using the components. So by default, there is the contract, but we have, there was a terminal there where we actually, all the dependencies are actually installed. So over here, I can, run this npm run dev. So we actually know how this repository looks like. I'm sharing the screen now. You should open this dev tools, because all the Telegram mini apps, first of all, why, let me clear this, why we are actually deploying a Telegram mini app. So in recent times, Telegram mini apps have got a lot of tractions with over 900 million daily monthly users. There's a lot of develop like user base over here. So if you have if you have any web app that you deploy on Telegram, it actually serves 2-3 purposes. Like first of all, you can actually have this and very big population user base. Next, it is already built inside your what we say inside Telegram, which is the app channel you actually use, the chat application which you use. So it is actually really, really wonderful. Let me check. I guess this isn't working. There was some issue with this. Yeah, now compilation is being done. But until then, I should explain this. Okay, so I just forgot the very main part. So we have actually used Wallet Connect or slash Rainbow Kit as a wallet provider, wallet connector. So let's first head on to cloud.walletconnect.com to get the API URL. So, that's what cloud.walletconnect.com to get our next public wallet connect project ID. Just sign it. Now Wallet Connect is re-owned, so that's cool. Okay, maybe there was some error with changing the network. So, okay. Maybe you can log in with your mail ID. I think it's being very, very slow. Usually that is not the case, but okay. We are logged in inside the Wallet Connect. Then click on create a project, give it a project name. Again, skip the link because it is not necessary. Click on app kit. Click on Next.js. And click the project. Once it is actually done, just go to this project ID and copy it. Uh, Let me know, if my screen is not visible. I hope my VS Code is visible now. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, nice. So,
But you could zoom your VS Code a bit, please.
yep. I was just about to do that. Over here, just on this .env example, there's a example env. Just create .env local over there. Copy the contents of .env example and save. Then go to this project ID that you created and paste it over here. And make sure you don't create this env in some of the other folders. It should be on this root directly only. So once it's done, we can reload and rerun this development server. Now I can go to Telegram mini localhost. 3000. Okay. Is my audio really low? Let me check. Am I audible now? Just head to localhost, and once it is already compiled, the next JS is compiled, you can see this. I'll urge you to deploy everything on this mobile compatible mode, because Telegram mini apps are eventually are made for mobile. So you should actually click on and choose any of the mobile phones that you want to develop on. This is the sample contract, a sample starter kit that comes along. And once you connect your application, since it is localhost, so my wallet was already connected to the localhost, but you can actually connect it. And change to Arbitrum Sequoia. That's where the Astra this contract would be. Right now, you can see there's another contract already, which is a counter contract. So what we have to do is we just need to go back to our contract and copy the address, the contract address that we got. If you don't remember it, just go down and you can see over here or over here in the plugin itself, Code by Built-in Studio plugin, and just copy it, come back to your VS Code, go to the constants and index.js, and replace the counter address to this. This already creates have the APIs and everything that needs to be set up. Once we have actually deployed, I'll go through the entire code because I guess we are running a little bit late. So, just you have to reload. If you remember correctly, 7384 is what we had. Now the starter kit have everything inbuilt, so you don't have to worry about other things like setting up the contract. I can set this number uh, by clicking on this, and by doing it, 525 is transaction is successful and the counter is updated. You can also check it inside the remix. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it took some time for it. Maybe the API they're using is a little slow, but yeah, you can see the changes over here. Since both are the same, contract addresses on Arbitrum Sequoia, you can get this. Now, that's, where we have set up entire thing. And let me open and deploy it on Telegram, right? So if you have web Telegram, that's the best way to actually develop a Telegram mini app. If, just install a web or Telegram. You can also do it on the local, your Telegram app, but it's usually recommended because you can actually have this connect feature very easily inbuilt. So just go here and click on new bot, add the bot name Web3 Afrika stylus. And now it's asking me to create the bot handle Web3 Afrika stylus bot. Make sure this ends with the bot in the end, and you have this app ready. Now, next thing, go back to this terminal, add another and write npm run expose. This will expose your local server and host it and redirect to as a proxy through local tunnel. So if you have nggrok or any other proxy servers, you can use them as well. But right now we'll be using this. So just click on this and you will be redirected to the website where you can see your IP, which is the password for this. Once you are done, you can actually see both of them, that's the entire same application. And it's just using, we just got this URL, which is publicly accessible and available to all. Now, we were again at Telegram. We will go there. Once we had created the bot, we have this URL ready, which actually, is the way. Now, go to set menu button. It is actually not it doesn't come and pops over, so you have to actually manually type it. But after that, you just have to send the URL of the application that you're developing. Okay, first of all, okay, who choose a bot to set up? Okay, let me increase the size for you. Over here, once you click on set menu button, it asks you to choose a menu button. If you click over here, you can find out all the bots that you have. I will click on Web3 Afrika, and then it asks for a URL and a button, which you can actually leave empty. Once it is done, you can just go to this bot. There's a start button. You can click and wait for it to. Yeah, you can see this set menu button actually adds a little button over here. Right now, it takes sometimes it takes a little bit of time to update it, but usually it is done in a minute or 4. After that, you can see set mini app. Okay, I think. Let's first go to this. Okay. By then, you don't actually have to do that a lot, but I was just creating another instance. But since we already got this click button, you can just click on launch. Okay. So now you can see as your application is now visible on the Telegram web app. Let me close again. I don't think so there was an error, but just rechecking it again. Yeah, now this app's open perfectly. I guess Rainbow Kit has some problem, but more or less, usually it doesn't comes around. Let's go to the flow. If it actually, you can connect your MetaMask. Okay, maybe my internet connection is giving problem. Uh, can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I think my internet is maybe the Wi-Fi is getting little fluctuations. There's heavy rain outside, so. But yeah, like if anyone is active over here, right, on Telegram, you can just check out this app. I'm throwing it.
I checked it out from my end here. It is showing, it's saying that I should provide the tunnel password.
Okay, password, tunnel password. Okay, it's the IP. I'm just sharing it with you. Just a sec.
Okay.
It's the, yeah. Just checking. Just a second. I'm just. It's not asking me for password again. I think I have. Yep. Sharing in the chat.
Hapreet, I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
You know that this application that you deployed is, you deployed it locally. What if I have deployed the app on Vercel and I have the live link to the website? Can I also create a bot that will
Yep.
do the
Sure.
same?
Yep. I'm just going to answer it. So let's deploy it on Vercel. The entire thing of using local tunnel is for development purposes. While
Okay.
you're developing your application, see, this is the local host. If I click on launch pop-up, it will give me error because the function which I'm using is of Telegram. And the share URL, all these won't work if I'm using if I'm using it on web browser. I've made some functions which enable us to develop and see the application inside a web browser, this entire web browser. But ideally, everything should work inside only this web app, inside the Telegram, where you have this instance. So just checking out if I can mirror my. Okay, no need of mirroring now. I think it's loading. More or less, this is, like server is just giving some problems, but next, that's why we are actually using local tenor or nggrok to provide while we are developing. We can actually see on our this web browser, oh sorry, in Telegram mini app, that the functionality that we created, whether it's, if you're fetching someone's ID, Telegram ID, there are native functions inside it, right? You can actually see, but it's only possible when you are inside this context of Telegram, right? Once you are over here, you can't access the theme parameters, right? Let me show you some of the theme parameters that we have. This is a Telegram provider which we are using, and here I'm mocking this entire thing. Like, click over here, this Telegram mock is being used, and that's where we are in, imagining it. So once we deploy on Vercel, which let me just do it for you. Once we deploy it on Vercel, then we have to actually, you can see that it won't work on our. Don't make sure to forget. Yes, okay, this is working now. Launch pop-up is something like this. So let's go through this app first. Share URL, toggle main button. This is the main button where once you are done with the counter thing, right? You'll actually integrate some good using to do the main action. And this expand web view, if you open this application on your mobile phone, you can actually appreciate what expand web view means. When you open an application, it's only, it's only 50% or 60% of your screen. And once you click on this expand web view, it will automatically expand it to the 100% height of your mobile. These all things you can do. But again, let's deploy it. Once we have deployed this application, we just need to perform the very same steps that we did, while setting up this local tunnel. Like once all the steps that we did while doing the local tunnel thing. So just let me click it again. Okay, one more thing, one more question that I wanted to give. This app, the app may not actually work perfectly well with Android phones. So, if you try to connect your Android wallet with this application, it may sometimes result in error, but in iOS, it works absolutely fine. And it's on the wallet connects end, and eventually, they are actually working on it to resolve the deep links. But, until then, we have to actually bear up with this. Maybe it may break, the Android version may break. So for that reason, you can actually use any of the social logins or email wallet providers like Privy or, FT Auth. Even, everyone provides it right now. So you can add that wallets. Any questions till this deployment is being, done? Okay, nice. So this is the URL that I have, and it will give me an unhandled error because you have opened outside Telegram, and Telegram mini apps are not meant to be opened outside Telegram mini apps. So hence the error. Instead, so now let's follow it again, right? You have to click on set menu button, click on the bot. You click it correctly because this is not actually visible sometimes. So I'm, again, emphasizes again, click over here, select the bot, send the URL, the production URL that you have. Now it asks you to, if you want to have this menu, you can actually add anything, right? For us, we can write app. So the small button, or what we should write. Okay, now it's production app. I hope, like now you would be able to access it even if I close my server. Let me show you. So the entire reason for using local tunnel npm run expose was during just the development part of your journey. So you don't actually deploy every time you want to see, since local host won't work on Telegram.
Hapreet.
Yep.
I have a question for you. So recently, while I was going through your code base, I saw that you included some code that has a Telegram. There are Telegram components that are coming from something that the Telegram.
Yeah.
So I want to ask that if I already have an app that I deployed on Vassal and I want to make it a Telegram bot, do I have to refactor the code to make it only available to Telegram?
Okay. The reason you will deploy it on Telegram would be, see, if you want to deploy your web app, you can do it, right? You have a lot of other, you can find a lot of starter kits. If you want to deploy on Stylus, that is also possible. Deploy anywhere on web. But if you are deploying on Telegram mini app, you will use some Telegram native functions. For example, this viewport, main button, pop-up, and utils. These are exclusive to Telegram. So if you eventually deploy it on web app, it will break, which we eventually don't want in the long run. If you want to make it a mono repo and conditionally render, if you find Telegram environment inside your application, you are good to go. But again, it will just increase your complexities. I hope I answered. If
Yeah,
not, just
yeah, thank you very much.
and the stylus part also, again, it was just the basic part. Like I wanted to showcase this vending machine which I was building from like for the workshop. But again, the time constraint is usually, I didn't expect it to go this long for just the counter contract. I wanted to explain a little bit more, but again, do we have any other questions?
Yeah. Are we going to, like, this question is basically towards the hackathon. Are we going to also build a Telegram bot after in the hackathon?
I guess you don't actually have to build. See, for the hackathon, maybe Koha would be better person to answer. If you're making a Telegram mini app, you can actually create it if you want to build, right? As of now, it's not if you are building on Stylus, it is not eventually necessary to build a Telegram mini app. Just like, it is not necessary to build a Telegram mini app in other, if you write a Solidity contract or any web app, you can actually convert it to a web app because it usually doesn't take, it isn't that hard if you are following this starter kit. It just adds one more level of expertise to your application. It gets you more, used to the Telegram people and, all the user base that you get with Telegram. And at the very end, uh, we are also, yeah. Do we have any questions? Yeah, apart from if I'm not answering, if I'm unable to answer, just let me know.
Yeah, you answered that well. So I wanted to ask that can we use VS Code to set up a stylus
Yep.
contract too?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can easily set up the stylus contracts, but as I said, I was going through the very same part of setting up this stylus contract, but this was not working for me. The node was not actually working perfectly. If you want to develop it locally, you have to run a Arbitrum node, test node, a testnet node, which usually takes around 10 GB plus of your disk space. I had it earlier, it was running fine, but with 0.6 SDK update of Stylus SDK, it broke for me. A lot of people are, everyone I know is actually building, but for me it broke. I don't know why. Maybe I'll, just go through this again and we can confirm why this thing actually broke off. But that was the entire thing. It was not working for me. But you can actually follow the documentation as it is, and it is very seamless. So if I show you what I had. Yeah, this is the stylus one. Yeah, this is the entire stylus contract I was, it is as it is. You have to, you should have Rust installed, Cargo Stylus installed, Wasm, set up, which everything everything is there inside the documentation, quick start. So it's a good place to, start off. It was just for me that, this thing didn't work out.
Okay. Also, I have a question regarding the smart contract that we
Yep.
generated earlier. So I asked the question on the group. I don't know if you got that. The question was that did you choose to write the vending machine smart contracts with the Rust programming language over the Solidity because of some probably performance over it, or you just chose it because you're comfortable with it? Because the reason why I asked is that I'm a little bit confused. The library has extension .rs, so I believe that's for Rust. So I was thinking that writing a Solidity in it again, because when you're writing Solidity codes, you have the extension .sol. So that part is kind of confusing, that you can write Solidity and Rust inside one same smart contract. So the two questions are, first of all, why are we writing Solidity code inside a .rs file? And the second question is, why did you use the Rust programming language to write the smart contract? Because I think the Solidity smart contract has lesser lines of code. Thank you.
Okay. As if you know Solidity, it's great, right? But as I mentioned in the slide, there are only 20K active Solidity developers. So with Rust or C++, we are onboarding those 13 million developers that can contribute and enhance the development environment of Ethereum in a whole sense. And the second point to it, no, the contract that I wrote, we are not writing any of the, just let me show you this contract, right? Before answer this question. Example that I showed you, it was this, right? It was commented out. So we are not actually writing any, Solidity code inside uh, the smart contract. It was just commented out to let you know that we are actually coding its counterpart. And next thing, if you are able to do, if you're just leveraging the Solidity part of the code, if you're just doing what you can do with Solidity, just basic things, you shouldn't be writing it in Rust if you already know Solidity. But if you want to, use all these super fancy use cases, like you can have NFT that is whose storage is inside our smart contract. So all those type of use cases, uh, you can have AI inbuilt, you can prove ZK proofs. They're not, all these use cases are not possible inside Solidity contracts because they have a limitation. But with Rust being faster and 10x, it's almost 10x faster and gives us 100x RAM in comparison to Solidity contracts, with support of very great and production ready libraries and tools and crates. It makes very easy opportunity for us to work on this, to use Rust instead of Solidity. So for those use cases which were earlier not possible because of Solidity limitation, we are using Rust. I hope I am clear. I can add one or two more points if you want.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know for others, but I think basically most of us here are Solidity developers. That I can't really say for others, but I don't know if this helps. But then I want to ask that, do you have any advice you have for Solidity developer going into Rust, like the learning curves and things to learn, things not to waste time on, and all that?
Okay, so there's Rust book. If you know JavaScript, it would be very easy for you to understand. It's not easy. Rust is not easy to master, but you can get the concepts. You can grasp those concepts if you go through the Rust book. So that's what I would actually mean. This Rust book and Rust links. You can explore these two Rust, use cases maybe, and try to be, if you try to learn, you can actually attract a lot of, you can join some communities. Although I'm not a very heavy Rust developer, I'm still, like I'm also trying to, learn a lot of cool concepts. But or like you can actually improve and learn Rust, because that's what it's faster than it. And if you want to build on some cool cases, you can build. So Rust links and the Rust book are the two resources you should definitely go through.
Okay, thank you. So you talked about writing the counterpart of Rust. So are you saying that if you want to write a Solidity smart contract on Arbiter stylus, we are going to use the .sol extension, or we keep it at .rs?
See, right now it is Rust code. It is not what you actually write. You can't just change the extension and write the code. If you go through this completely, right? Public function. See, this underscore is what is the naming convention for Rust, which corresponds to set number, set number. You can see this changes to camel case. I have deployed this contract, but I have the ABI for this contract. So actually, it's kind of insane that, everything is handled in such a manner. Also, if you have this Rust contract, you can actually call any Solidity contract. So it is interoperable. So you don't it's not isolate. So if you have any other applications, or, if you have other code deployed on, if it's a Solidity contract, you can easily write a Rust code and integrate both of them. So it's not the same same code. You can't just change the extension, because a lot of things are over here. I'll just share some of the resources. One would be stylus by example. Second is the documentation itself. These two would be sufficient. But yeah, I will love to answer all the queries. You can join some groups as well. Telegram groups where the discussion actually happens.
Okay, thank you
Everything
very
I
much.
would share at the end. Okay, do we have any other questions?
All
Okay,
right.
yeah, I
don't
just
know.
wanted to
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to, let them know ki, there's a hackathon. After this hackathon, you can join 0xmaha.com, which is a month-long Telegram mini apps hackathon. And you can join this group, after the call. You can just scan this and join the group where all the discussion could happen after the call, right? So it is month-long hackathon. It is chain agnostic. You can build on any chain you like, right? EVM, or if it's Torn, everything is it's more on that. You can find all the details over here, or you can just DM me if you want to answer, right? So yeah, it would be starting. We are launching it tomorrow. So like after you complete this hackathon, you can actually try to convert those very applications into a Telegram mini app. So it would be cool to have some cool projects.
All right. Thank you so much, Hapreet. So you can, does that QR code go to the same URL as the link I sent to the chat,
Just
or is it a
checking.
different one? Yeah, so you can just paste it directly. So in case someone wants to
Okay.
just click it. Anyways, thank you so much. Also, I know people would like to get access to the code. I told them that you upload it to GitHub or have somewhere the central repository, and some other people would love to have access to the slides for their follow-up study. I would appreciate if that can also get across to them. Yeah, so maybe after the call we can have that.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, please go on.
Yeah, I'll share all the resources that I know of, and all the starter kits that I actually demoed. So I'll just create a doc and send you in next 15 minutes or so. So, like, so that we can have, and, like, make some very cool projects. To be honest,
Yeah,
I'll be great. I wanted to add more fun to this, workshop, but yes, what 1.5 hours was so less for me. Like,
yeah. It's we can maybe after
yep,
this we can have another event that would be more intense. Who knows? It's nice to see something actually being built, and I believe that the other participants appreciate this as well.
yeah, thanks.
That being said, thank you so much for uh, thanks so much for giving us some of your time to do this workshop, and we believe that this uh, is going to help prepare our guys for the hackathon, the mini hack on Saturday. So, guys, I will share this stuff with you, like I preset, and please check out the Telegram hackathon thing is shared. I already posted the link, oxma.com, I guess. In case you're interested in that, that is happening. You can join that maybe after the hackathon, the mini hack on Saturday. I really appreciate your time. We are like 13 minutes beyond time. It's good. It's perfect.
Okay.
I believe that we got the value we wanted. All right. So, where can people find you online, Aprit? Do you want to talk about your socials or your URLs, podcast, wherever people can find you online?
Okay, do we have 15 minutes left? You are saying?
No, no, like we are 13 minutes beyond time, but I mean, I want to give up. You should. Where can people find you in case they need to ask you questions or
Okay,
follow up or something?
sure. Yeah, that's what I'm just sharing in the chat itself. Sharing my Twitter. And Telegram. You can, message me anytime, and I will love to, help and resolve your doubts regarding this hackathon, regarding Arbitrum Stylus, or regarding, Telegram mini app. So just hit me up anytime.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
so
yeah,
much.
thanks
Okay.
for having me, and thanks Web3 Africa for giving me this